All right. We know that nonfiction, narrative nonfiction, has a tendency to jump back and forth between stories. So again, you've got to remember, they're telling us about what's happening with the Carlisle football team before Jim Thorpe was there. So they just told us, like, hey, here's what was going on with football at Carlisle. Meanwhile, here's what's happening in Jim Thorpe's life. So that's where we're going to start right now. Football imagination. Jim Thorpe rode a wagon to Guthrie, Oklahoma, then a train to Lawrence, Kansas. The 300-mile journey ended with a walk beneath the stone arch entryway of the Haskell Institute. So remember, when we left Jim last, his dad was tired of him running away, so sent him to a boarding school far away from their house. This was Hiram Thorpe's solution to his 11-year-old son's restless soul. Set on flat land surrounded by fields of wheat, Haskell was an Indian boarding school with a reputation for strict discipline. Like all incoming students, Jim reported to the infirmary, where his hair was cut short, soaked in kerosene to kill any lice, and parted down the middle. He was given a uniform and told the rules. Just as at Carlisle, each day began with revel at 5:30, so like a horn played to wake them up. Jim learned to dress quickly, making sure his shoes and clothes were immaculate, clean, and perfect. Even brass jacket buttons had to shine. He marched in military formation to meals and classes and vocational or job training. At night before bed, he stood at attention with 1,000 other students as the school band played the Star-Spangled Banner. In free moments, Jim walked out to the athletic fields to watch the older boys practicing. This is where he saw football for the first time. An Indian on the Haskell squad named Chauncey Archiquette became my idol, Thorpe remembered, and I decided to try to emulate or copy him. Jim and his friends made their own ball, grass shoved into a sock and tied shut. We played in our hickory cloth work shirts, jeans, and heavy shoes. Jim's classmate and future Carlisle teammate Henry Roberts described, sometimes we had to fatten the ball by stuffing more grass into it. They would watch the varsity team practice and then when practice was over, dash onto the field for their own game. Jim was one of the smaller kids, but he was fast, hard to grab. One day, Chauncey Archiquette walked over to him and looked at the boys' football. He asked if Jim would like a real ball. They walked to the harness shop and Archiquette sewed together some leather scraps, stuffing the oval with rags. He handed it to Jim. Jim held his new ball, a huge smile on his face. And he played every chance he got. He and his friends chose teams and romped around the massive field, free for the moment of rules and routine, discipline and punishment. On many nights, as the sun set and the other boys headed inside, Jim stayed alone on the field. He'd tuck the ball under his arm and take off, zigzagging past imaginary tacklers, a carefree kid again, racing Charlie across the Oklahoma plains. Okay, you got some final stop and jots, and then you are going to move on to that COVID connection. If you're participating, it's attached to your lesson in Google Classroom. Hope you guys have an excellent day, and I will see you virtually tomorrow. Bye.